This episode is brought to you by Tabletop Dominion, purveyors of handmade dice and artisan gaming accessories. Why not head over to tabletopdominion.com and use the code BILLOW to enjoy 10% off your order? Who knows, maybe you will find your very own blue dice of power.
Hello and welcome to the Billowing Hilltop podcast. I'm here with Derek from the How Not to DM podcast. Hello, Derek.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for having me on, Mike.
Come in. This is the command pod. Don't be alarmed by anything you see. Take a seat anywhere. Not there. Not there. That's
I was going to say that I can't find a seat that doesn't have a bunch of rubbish on it, so I'm not sure what you want me to do here.
That's not rubbish. That's Paul, one of our players. Derek has come to talk to us about the How Not to DM podcast. Derek, why don't you tell us all about How Not to DM, why we would love it, why we should listen to it. Tell us all about it.
Yes, so I started the show 2 years ago and some change because I loved listening to actual play shows, watching actual play streams, but I really wanted to pick the brain of the person running the show and figure out why they were making the decisions they were making, and also talk to them about big mistakes they feel like they'd made so that I could learn from them. So that's really what I wanted to highlight, and I feel like I've been successful so far. It's been a lot of fun. I've talked to a lot of really awesome creators from all over the world, from lots of different disciplines, people who are doing actual plays or people who are making dice or designing games, writing their own games, etc. And I really like the humanizing aspect of the show, where the people who we may put on pedestals because we think they are really good at something still had to start somewhere and have had a lot of blunders along the way that all of us can learn from. So yeah, that's why I started the show. That's how long it's been running. I'm entering my 4th season now, and so far so good.
It's a great concept, and it's like you say, it's not just GMs anymore. The other day I was listening to, is it Travis from Dark Dice? Yeah, yes. Travis from Dark Dice I was listening to the other day. There's a guy called Mike from Relic of the Past who we've had on here in the command pod to talk to us before. But there's also all sorts. The last show was a guy who runs a gaming cafe.
Yeah, he's a local game store owner here in Utah, where I live. He runs games, but he also, owns the world record for the largest D&D game in the world that I got to help participate in. I ran one of his tables. So yeah, I talked to all sorts of different folks, but all of them have advice on running games.
How big was this? Sorry.
1,200 and I think 27 was the total count. Yeah.
Okay.
So my table was only 5 folks, but there were, hundreds of tables.
Oh, it's not. Okay. It wasn't like the biggest initiative tracker of all time. It was like loads of separate little...
Yes.
I mean, it's bad enough waiting for your turn sometimes.
Right. No, that would be a year-long, endeavor. This was a combat style, like field of battle style. So he had it broken out into 5 different areas. I was running a table that was defending the wall of the city. And so there were siege engines attacking, and they were defending the wall. And then depending on how the wall section of the players did, we reported back, and then the game would change. And the wall actually fell because not enough people destroyed enough siege engines. Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Dan, one of our players, will absolutely love that. He ran a campaign, this would be 2 or 3 years ago. The Mazzolan setting, the Mazzolan novels. I read one of them, I didn't like them. But they're fantasy novels with a very military flavour. Dan, if you ever listen to this, because you never listen to our own show, listen to this bit. You try to find the lessons to learn from the mistakes they've made.
Yeah.
I mean, in a nutshell.
Yeah.
There's just buckets of material there.
Yes, there is. There's quite a few people who've had similar experiences, but luckily, all of my guests have run games in some form or other, and all of them have something to share. And I like it because, not everyone is going to have the same exact experiences, but I feel like me listening to all of these different stories and bits of advice mean that I can take what I like and add it to my own game and just be that much better, that much more engaged, that much more likely to deliver a good experience to the players.
One of my pet hates is DMs that think they know everything giving advice on Twitter. Keep scrolling. Your show is like, you've just got so much going on. You had a Kickstarter, right? You had a Kickstarter.
I did, yes. I had a Kickstarter last year. It was called Too Hot One Shot, and it's still available now if you want to buy it on drive-thru or on itch.io. But yeah, I've been able to run that game recently for some friends, and a few folks between that Kickstarter last year and now have run it on their own shows too, so it's been a lot of fun to see.
Tell me about the game.
Are you familiar with Hot Ones, the interview show?
Oh, no, that sounds slightly... Anyway, that sounds like something you shouldn't Google.
Okay, well, luckily it is safe. Well, it's relatively safe for work. Hot Ones is an interview show based in the US, but they've interviewed people from all over. And the concept is there's one guy, his name is Sean Evans, and he's the interviewer, and then each week he has a new guest on, as interview shows tend to go. But the twist is there are 10 chicken wings in front of him and in front of his guest. And the chicken wings...
Oh, this is one of those eat a chili things.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they ascend in hotness order. So the first wing is just your basic buffalo sauce. I don't think buffalo sauce is super prevalent in the UK. When I was living there, I don't think I ever found any. But
I am sitting in a bucket of it now, but yeah.
But it ascends up to insanely hot sauce. And the goal is, it's just a disarming part of the interview where someone who, is eating these hotter and hotter wings is more likely to just be themselves instead of the shield they might put up as a celebrity or whatever. Anyway, it's a really fun concept. So my friend and I really like hot sauce and really like the show. And we thought, how could we combine this show with gaming, tabletop gaming? And so we invented a rule set that would allow you to eat hot wings, basically, to further the game. And you can bolt that onto any system you're playing, whether it's D&D 5e, or if it's anything that kind of involves dice rolling, you can bolt these simple rules onto it. The GM is involved too. The GM has to eat hot wings also, so everyone gets to sweat together and burn their mouths together. Yeah,
it's an extraordinary concept, and how you can keep a straight face as you explain this to me, I do not know. So, strange games with chicken wings, which the less I know about.
Yeah, if you like a cheeky Nando's, this is right up your alley.
Your gaming history. How did you get started? When did you get started? What did you get started with?
Yes, it was 5e. I am a child of the 5e.
How are you now?
We're coming up on either 5 or 6 years. I cannot recall.
Yeah.
But I was a very imaginative child. My mother, during summer breaks, would make us do multiplication tables sometimes, or would make us, just keep up on our schoolwork kind of things. And she started making me write because I detested writing. And she would make me write a page a day to just get used to it and to get over my hate/fear of it or whatever it was. And I just watched Jurassic Park recently, and so I started writing a series of journal, newspaper style articles about dinosaur attacks in random campgrounds throughout America, just imagining what would happen if dinosaurs were loose. And from there it just really blossomed. I decided I loved storytelling, so shout out to my mother for forcing me to do something I didn't want to do. And
if you don't exercise the muscles, they don't work. So it's very smart.
So taking that imaginative, loving to tell stories, loving to improvise, and then all of a sudden my friends invite me to play this game I'd heard a lot about but never touched, knew nothing about. And then, I sit there for one session and realize the limitless possibilities that tabletop contains. I was hooked.
Everybody has the same story.
Yeah.
Some people sit down and after 2 or 3 hours, they just think, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I'm not enjoying this one bit. But we talk to a self-selected group, right? But the people that play, they sat down that one day and they just thought, wait a moment, I'd never thought of this before. It's not impossible to explain to somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about.
It's hard.
But the only real way to get it is to sit and see it, do it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do, you just go, oh, hello, this doesn't stop anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the common experience.
Yes. I remember talking to my brother and saying, oh, we could do Star Wars, or we could do Star Trek, or we could do...
Yeah.
Not knowing that all of these games already existed and have for, decades. But it was just that excitement of finding something new and realizing the potential.
But you play other systems. Obviously, you must encounter all this stuff out there as a result of doing the show.
Yes, I have dozens of books that are sitting in a box next to me because I have moved office recently, and I need to set up my bookshelf still. But I have dozens of books next to me, only some of which I've actually read through, and fewer of which I've played.
Yeah.
Convincing my group is sometimes hard, but I've gotten the opportunity to play Savage Worlds, which I really enjoyed, Avatar Legends recently, which I've really enjoyed.
Oh, I've read of it.
I've written my own mini game system using the Caltrop core called Dig, that's kind of based loosely on the novel/movie Holes. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. So yeah, I've definitely dabbled.
No chicken wings or hot sauce involved in that one?
No, this is just D4s, pool D4 system, yeah.
If I look to my right here in the command pod, I can just see a shelf of stuff.
Yes.
Some of which we've played, some of which we've not. You've got limited time.
Yes.
We record every week. We've been playing this bloody thing for 4 years. We meet twice a year for about 3 or 4 days and just play loads of other stuff. Anything but what we play for the show.
Yeah, I remember seeing pictures. It looks really nice. Was it in Scotland that you met last?
It's in England. We tend to hire relatively cheap places where they don't ask many questions. Because the person that rented you the house might come around and see what you're doing. And things have moved on, but they haven't moved on that far. If you're playing Shadowrun and you've got little cars and stuff laid out on the table, I think that they think you're planning a bank robbery inside the place. If I had to suddenly come up with an explanation, I would rather pretend to be some kind of master criminal than explain what I was really doing.
Yeah.
Arguing about whether or not my elf can teleport.
They listen in and they hear the job you're plotting. Yeah, that's...
Can you tell us a little bit about where people can listen to How Not to DM, every podcast app imaginable? Do you do video or are you on YouTube? Do you stream? Do you...
Yeah.
Whatever.
I haven't delved into streaming. Again, the time factor, like you mentioned. I have a young family. Yeah. I've got a day job. Yeah. I've got this show that I do. So streaming has not ever popped up as something that sounds doable to me. But if you're listening to Billowing Hilltop now, the likelihood that you can also listen to How Not to DM on the same platform is very high.
Yeah.
They're all still posted on YouTube. So if you like YouTube or you want to see faces with your show, that is also available. I have started moving my show to a channel called T4C. So
I know T4C. Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton works with them as well. Yep.
I saw him last year.
Is he as handsome in person as he looks?
He's a deeply beautiful man, Derek. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The feedback we've had, Derek, is firmly that nobody wants to see our faces.
Yeah, no one asked for my face either, but here we are.
So you're on YouTube, you're on every podcast app imaginable, including the one that you're listening to this now on, dear readers.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have everything we need to know, unless you think of something else.
Linktree.com/HN2DM is where you can find all of the links. You can find that Kickstarter that's available on either Drive-Thru or Itch, or you can find my show. You can find some of the other guest appearances I've done on some other shows. So that's everything you need to know about How Not to DM.
And the links to all of this stuff will be in the show notes. Thank you very much, Derek. Thanks for coming in to the Command Pod. Readers, as always, we love it when you rate or review us on your podcast app of choice. You can find us on social media, on Twix, at Billowing Hilltop, no P, because Paul forgot to pay for it. We're on Threads, we're on Blue Sky, we're on Instagram, all at Billowing Hilltop. If you're old, you can find us on Facebook. If you're really old, you can email us at hello@billowinghilltop.com. That's it. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
I have no other news or information, so let us push on with episode 164 of the Billowing Hilltop podcast, Sure Shot. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I'm here with Dan and Graham.
Hi.
Who's still assembling that figure from last week. The corpulent form of Johnny.
Good evening.
Easing himself into his specially adapted high chair. The diode-tastic Paul and master of spidography, Lucas. Should we do a quick recap?
Yeah.
Shall I roll the dice? Looking around the table from my left to my right, I'm going to roll a d10. And delivering the recap this week, it is Paul. Paul, will you please catch us all up with where we had got to last time?
Right then. Last time we met with Lashana, she revealed quite a lot about what is going on, and basically the story says we've got to go to this island surrounded by this magical storm in order to try and track down the phylactery of the Dragotha Lich, and so we all went to Evenstar very quickly to pick up their long-awaited for magical item, and then we went to Marcus Dubrigger's pad, didn't literally pick up, got on board the Spot Conctor, and have spent a day travelling and going underneath the violent storm to arrive at the island of, name to be inserted here,
Tilagos.
Exactly. How was that?
I have to say that was pretty good, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Not bad.
Not bad, considering I actually wasn't paying attention for most of it.
I can't think of anything that I need to fill in, apart from the fact that we ended things with an arrow streaking out from the shadows of what looks like the entrance to a kind of, a maze or warren made up of blocks that rise out of the island's interior up into the cloud base of the storm.
And the arrow streaked towards us and then changed direction and
it did.
Turned flameness.
Yeah, and it lands in the sand at your feet. Attached to it is a note.
Ooh.
And on that note it just says, roll for initiative.
those wits.
I will roll
I rolled below a 10 again.
once again.
Hold on. How come Sessions got 23 and then he got 17?
You think you know
I'll
somebody?
take the 23. Or 17's fine. Now.
5.
Dead first.
Purple, you got Uncle Buggy.
6.
God, this map's on such an extraordinary scale. Okay, Sessions on 23, Parker on 22. Something's going on 20. Scaly on 8.
Yep.
Buggy on 6. Purple on 5. Sessions on 23. It's your turn.
Oh.
The arrow that snaked out of the darkness shot past you, out and
It's been
sizzled
months.
into the sea.
It's been months since we've done this. And Sessions is first. Brilliant.
It's going to be
Got
another
the
usual
month before you
Sessions
decide
dilemma
what to
of going first. What's it
Yeah.
to be, Graham?
Graham rolls initiative at advantage for some reason, and he really doesn't want to
Yes.
because it just makes his life a nightmare.
Yeah, you have to make a
Has to put down his-
decision.
Put down the mini, put down the glue.
Okay, so since I was...
So
Get some
Rudy
cheese out.
awakened.
Okay, there's some boats, yeah? There's something I can nip behind for cover?
Yeah, there's hundreds, it says in the description. I think looking at the map, I would think that's an exaggeration. Let's say tens of fragments of hulls scattered across the beach.
Okay, I'm going to nip down behind this boat here, that looks like a boat, and take some cover.
Yep.
Yep. And then I'm going to... The little square's 10 foot, yeah? The big square's 10 foot.
Big
Big
square.
square's 10 foot, little square's 5 foot, just as,
Yeah.
as you would expect.
Okie dokie. And then I will cast spell. But I might cast a spell and then nip down, actually think about it. Probably makes more sense to do it in that sequence. I would like to do...
A poo?
no, I would like to do
Why do I find that funny?
aid at 3rd level, which
Right.
gives me up to 3 creatures, the bonus 10 hit points. So I
Nice.
will do that on Scaly and Buggy and myself.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then I'm taking cover.
Let's move straight on to on 22. If it is the real Parker, fuck it.
Right. Well, I'm going to cast Longstrider,
Yep.
and then I'm going to skim across the beach past Sessions, so that
Yes. Running along
To-
the actual shoreline from
running along the shoreline
west to east. Yep. Yep.
from west to east, and I can get to there, so that and I have a view straight ahead through to
National Radio Awards. Yep.
where the
Yeah, you can see.
the
Yeah, I can
creature
reveal
or
a
whatever it
more
was.
to you. I can reveal a bit more. You can see into the maze a little bit more.
Yeah.
Can't see anybody, but then you can see where they might be.
Yes. Good. That's me done.
On 20, something else happens. Another arrow comes arcing out. Let's see whether or not this one does any better. It's complicated high-level NPC time with Mike B. Yeah, you do have technology, so you can see they exist. An arrow emerges from the shadows, from the depths of the maze, and starts heading for, running left to right, a purple.
Marvellous.
It starts Judge Dredd Lawgiver Seeker bullet style, weaving its way out of the darkness, out of the shadows, through the bits of wreckage on the beach, and heading for you. Can you give me a dexterity save, please? DC, I have no idea. Oh, here we go. DC equals plus the thingy plus the a DC 15 dexterity save, please. As this arrow tries to hunt you down.
17.
Made it. You only take half of. Really, not very much. I wouldn't. You take
Nothing.
7, 8. You take 6 points of damage.
Half.
Does it matter what kinds
is
of
that
damage?
half? Yes.
You take half of 12.
Yeah.
Of which 3 was force damage and 3 was arrow.
Arrow
Piercing
damage.
Arrow damage.
Mike,
Arrow damage.
Pointy damage.
I'm probably too late here, but can I use my reaction?
Reby, the thing is, it whenever you're hit, is it an attack?
Shield spell.
Yeah,
Didn't
but
roll
doesn't
to hit
that
it, did
add to
it?
your armor class? It's a saving throw.
It's a saving throw.
Yeah.
It
It's a
says you
clever
take no
loophole.
damage from magic
It's not
missile.
magic missile. It's an actual arrow.
Okay, just wondering about the force damage.
That's
Fine.
just like a homing arrow.
Fine.
The force damage is something
Yeah,
else
okay.
that I don't understand.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I don't understand anything about the creatures that you are currently engaged with. I have absolutely no idea how they work or what they do.
Okay.
But for the moment, luckily, I can move on, and it is Scaly on 8.
Scaly on 8 is going to cast. He's going to take an action, cast haste on himself, and then for his second action. What's movement like in terms of running? Oh, is it because of all this debris? Is it half speed or is it what?
I don't think so. There's nothing here to tell me that it's difficult ground per se. You have to take a quite zigzag route around all of these little bits of wreckage, but I don't think the actual ground itself is difficult to run across. It's just a beach. Although anybody who's ever gone running along a beach will know that that is not true.
All right. I think it's fair enough to assume that if I move up to the wall kind of beyond the wreckage, which is...
Yep. Let's keep this all abstracted, but you're moving up to one of the great towers.
Yep. So it's straight line. As a crow flies, it's 55 foot. I've got a move currently of 80 foot. I would assume that that's kind of...
Yeah, that looks
There or
fine. That looks
thereabouts.
fine to me. I've revealed a bit more maze to you, Scaly. You
Yeah.
can't see any creatures. That arrow came out, curving out through the darkness over here. So
Right.
on 6, it's Uncle Buggy.
Oh, I dozed off then, sorry. What's been going on?
Arrows are streaking out of
Arrows
the
coming
darkness of the
from-
maze. The guys are running up the beach towards the maze.
I will run up alongside a Scaly O'Toole.
It's like the beginning of Saving
Yeah.
Private
I will
Ryan.
draw the axe of the timber
Yes, it is a
dart.
bit, yeah.
I won't
Yes.
activate it, but I'll draw it out.
Please, please don't activate the mist.
Oh, can I
Please
see
don't
any better
activate
where
the
it?
mist.
No. Now that you are where you are, I've revealed a bit more. And you can see into the general area where these arrows have been emerging, but you can't see deeply enough into the shadows to see any source.
It says
On
multiple.
5,
Yeah.
it's Burple.
Burple is going to... So where did the arrow come from?
From your point of view, Burple, it came snaking along. If you're at ground level, you can't see very much. All you can see are the kind of hulks of ship hulls towering around you. It came basically after you, like taking right and left turns, turned the corner, and just basically headed for you. Your sense is that it's coming from your northeast, out of the right-hand end of the maze area, the shadows in the maze. The shadows in the maze. Part 1, my new fantasy tradition.
Okay, well I'm going to cast
The
haste.
weasel in the smoke.
I'm going to cast haste on myself,
Yeah,
and I'm going
Got
to
it.
fly
yeah.
to behind...
Right up to a pillar,
one of
giving
those
yourself
pillars.
cover from the
Yeah.
pillar, from
Yeah.
the rest of the maze. Gotcha. On 23, we're back round to the top of the round. Round 2, it's sessions.
Okie dokie. I am going to cast invisibility on myself,
Yes.
and then I'm going to fly. I'm going to fly over the wreck that's in front of me, head up the beach
Yeah.
to about 20 feet behind Burple and slightly to his southeast.
Got it.
And I found
Sort of nestled in some wreckage.
yeah, so I'm going to fly up, over, and then down again.
On 22, it's Parker. Parker,
Yeah, so
it's you.
also move up the beach. I
Yep.
can basically get to parallel to the same level as Burple and Scaly and Buckraft are. Not quite behind the wall, but with a view through this small gap between where Burple is and the larger wall. Can I see anything?
I'm just going to look at that. Don't know that you can see much that's particularly useful. I'm going to reveal a little bit more. I'm going to say that twice. There.
Yeah.
You can see the gap open up a little bit. On 20, unless that's anything else, Parker? Nothing from the dessert trolley?
No, actually, just thinking about it, I can, as I'm not going to take
No,
an action,
no.
I will actually move up to right behind the wall, so I've got cover of the wall.
Yeah.
That's a
shielding
little
yourself.
bit of creme brulee just right there.
A little bit of creme brulee there, yes. Brought to your table. The next thing that happens is it's 20, and on 20 things happen. The first thing that happens on 20 is that snaking from the wreckage behind you come tendrils. Let's start with Scaly. From almost directly to your to your southwest. From under the shadows of, David Copperfield, the house made out of the boat on the thing. No, you don't.
No.
Anyway, so these bits of hulk from the recesses snake these tendrils. Scaly, I'm going to roll to hit you with a set of tendrils.
Tendrils or tentacles?
It's a tendril.
Okay.
There's an awful lot of tendril action about to take place. What's your armor class? Oh, Maka?
My armor class with the haste
Yes.
is going to be 20.
Okay, here we go. Tendril number 1, its armor class. To lose dice of power, its armor class 23.
Fucking
You can
hell.
get your own blue dice of power, readers from tabletopdominion.com. Use the code below.
Sorry, who's gaining the benefit of this, by the way? The
Nobody. Second attack, 20.
Natural 20. Alrighty.
It's a critical. Do I get to draw a card? Let's roll to see if I confirm. No, not good enough. Third attack by a tendril. Misses. Fourth attack by a tendril.
Oh no, it's another critical.
As I say, 10% off is another 20. Do I draw a card for this tendril? I don't draw a card. So, okay, let's do the tendrils and then we'll do the rest of it. Starting with the tendrils. And everybody gets a tendril. Don't feel left out, everybody else. And everybody gets a tendril. You are grappled and restrained, Scaly. The tendrils drag you towards their source.
Yeah.
25 feet. You see Scaly Buggy just go, "Ah!" and he's just dragged into the shadows under this bit of wrecked hulk.
Funny.
And it's time for Chompy. Something's in those shadows, Scaly.
Chompy.
And the Chompy thing is going to chomp your chompy face with its chompy appendage.
Chompy.
Chompy, chompy, chompy,
Yum,
chompy. It's
An
time
Ottio.
for a chompy fun.
Ooh,
Okay,
could be.
oh dear. Oh,
A Catobla
yes.
Proper.
With chompy thing hitting you for. Might as well roll. They give you a shorthand damage. I think that's boring.
I think it's a roper.
Take the following
My first
chompy damage.
What?
Ouch.
26 points of chompy damage. You are restrained and grappled. Strength saves, everything, all of that stuff. You'll have to look up those conditions, but you probably don't have much of a dexterity bonus to your armor class. You're at disadvantage on a loads of stuff. You're in the dark shadows under a thing, and something is eating your head. Let's move on to Uncle Buggy. 4 tendrils on you. What's your armor class, Uncle Buggy?
19.
First one was an 18 anyway. Hits.
Armor class 19.
Second one is a miss on a 1, and that ends its turn unless it gambles. I don't think it's got the brain to gamble. You are dragged into the shadows of the thing,
I thought
Buggy,
that ended its
and
turn.
it's... Oh, good point. But you are grappled, Buggy, by this thing. You're restrained and whatever. Straight onto Burple, issuing from the wreck to your south. The first tendril hits armor class Sod All. What's your armor class? Hits second
Second one I'm going to
hits armor
cast.
class
I'm going to use my
24.
reaction to cast Shield.
Yeah, bumping your armor
Makes
class
my armor
up by...
class 25.
So it missed by 1, and
Two more.
but it continues attacking, right?
Yeah.
Third tendril misses, and the fourth tendril, I roll a miss. That shield was very, very useful.
No, I need to use. I need
Parker.
to use another shield spell. Oh no, it lasts the round.
I
No,
thought
it
it was,
lasts the
doesn't
round.
it? Last,
Yes, it lasts
yeah,
the
lasts
round.
till exactly. Lasts
That's
till the end of
true.
your turn or whatever it is. Or the
Well,
end
that's
of
why I took
your-
it, Mike.
To the beginning of your next turn. Yeah, I read it, and you've got your 2 swords, right?
Yes.
I don't know that you can cast it. Thinking about it, it's got a somatic component. Sorry, first thing I saw, which made me laugh. Not quite out loud. Which means that if you've got a sword in each hand, you can't cast it. As a free
Unless I
action.
drop one of my swords.
That would have to be a reaction, wouldn't it?
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Dropping a sword.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to say that you did it this time, but your sword is on the ground. But in future, I don't think you're
okay,
supported
understood.
with
I'll
that.
just
I think
draw
you have
one sword
to
in
have
future.
one.
Okay.
Yeah. Sessions.
I'm invisible.
You're invisible. You're left alone. Parker, snaking out from the wreck to your south, hitting armor class. Ooh, 26 with the first tendril. You are grappled.
I'm going to use a lucky point.
To make me re-roll.
Yes. When an attack roll is made against you, you can spend 1 to roll an additional d20 and you choose which die to use.
Okay, so I roll again, then you pick the lower number, right? And I roll a 16 with the second one, plus 8, which is 24.
Still a hit. Okay. It's a 1.
Its round is ended and you are grappled. Now let's do some arrows flying out of the darkness. 2 arrows come out, homing arrows. We're going to roll randomly to see who they go for. They can go for any one of you, including Sessions, for reasons that I'm not going to get into. The first one heads for Buggy. Buggy, can you give me a dexterity save, DC 16, please, as an arrow snakes out of the darkness and finds its way towards you.
I'm grappled, am I?
Oh, I think you make saves at, let's have a look at grapple. Does that mean that in restrained, does you make saves at a disadvantage?
Just say its speed becomes 0, can't benefit from any bonus to its speed.
And then what about restrained?
Are we restrained?
Yep. You're grappled and
Disadvantage
restrained.
on dexterity saving throws.
Someone's thought well about this, haven't they? About setting up these
so-
monsters. But I do get dexterity advantage because I'm a barbarian against effects that you can see while
So
I'm
it evens itself out, so you just roll a straight roll.
straight
DC 16
dexterity. Okay. It's a 1, but that's on a hobbit.
You can re-roll it. 'cause you're a
I
hobbit.
am tempted to get some bad dice rolls out, but I won't. Just keep the game moving.
You can't re-roll another one, right? That's another one. You just should have got that bad dice.
Can I, what
Can
about
you?
an
I don't know.
Urt?
You tell me.
What about Urt?
Yeah, do you want to use your Urt dice?
Yeah, I'll use an Urt.
Nobody wants to jump in and help Johnny here. Nobody.
What, to use their Rort dice?
Nobody. Okay,
No, I
fine,
can
fine. Okay, off you go.
So
Yeah,
I just
make your
roll again, and then what was it, 1d10, did you say?
Yep. Okay, you ace it.
Yeah.
You take half of the following damage. I mean, I really just don't know if that was worth an Ort dice, is really my point. You take 2 points of damage. One of them was force damage, one of them was arrow damage. And then the other one goes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ending on Parker. 1, 2, it's Scaly O'Toole. Scaly, it's a DC 16 dexterity save at disadvantage as this thing snakes in to get you.
Well,
See you, Daisy. You take the full damage. 2 points of force damage and 11 points of arrow damage.
so that's 13 points of damage. Right.
Yeah. Now, there's some movement. You can't see anybody moving, but you can hear the rapid padding of footsteps and some guttural... It's almost like they developed a kind of code or something. A series of pre-agreed
Something
sounds
that
and
Parker
signals.
won't understand.
But
Like a party.
Parker will understand it. Parker, you can make a little bit of sense of it. It's not a language per se, but I think it would be cruel of me not to give
It's
you
a communication.
the advantage from what you have. Yeah, in very general terms, it's spread out, go round, outflank. That's basically what you're hearing.
Okay.
Next, it is Scaly O'Toole on 8. Now, let me talk to you about your options.
Okay.
You can either, it's an escape DC 15, you can make a strength athletics check or a dexterity, the other one check. Anybody remember? Wiggly check. It's like a wriggle-free check.
Acrobatics
Hold
or
up.
athletics?
I can never remember.
Acrobatics or athletics, I think.
There we go. Thanks, Johnny. That sounds right to me, actually.
Or
There's a DC, but you're at disadvantage.
I cast a spell with a verbal component,
Yeah, you can cast a spell with a verbal component.
which I think is probably the better thing to do. I'm going to cast Misty
Yep.
Step,
Okay.
and I think what I'm going to do is Misty Step next to Buggy.
Buggy's currently restrained, yep.
Yeah, but the good news about that's a bonus action, is
Yes.
I have my giving people bonuses to their saves.
You have your giving people bonuses to their saves.
Aura of protection. Anybody within 10 foot gets +3 to all saving
Yep.
throws. But I can also now go and whack at the tendril
On Uncle Buggy?
on
Yes, you
Uncle
can.
Buggy. So I will attack using my massive chopper.
Right. Tell me what armor class you hit.
I will hit armor class 21.
It's a hit. It's a hit. How much damage do you do? Oof, bloody hell. No, you
Lucky
sever the tendril.
hell.
There you go. 17.
Yeah, you slash through the tendril and Buggy is free.
There you go.
Anything else from you, Scaly?
I am then. I've got.
Dessert trolley?
Well, I've still got a move action because I've used a bonus and an attack.
Yep.
I'm going to run around into where I think towards where the arrows are coming from.
Let me reveal a bit more of what you can see as you run into that area of the maze. Off to your east, you can see that there's a channel You can see a
It's
kind
bit
of
like a Potter dungeon, doesn't it?
does, yeah, band stretching up. So you're in an area like a little, almost like a courtyard. On your right, there's a single pillar. You can't see behind it. There's a gap between it and a little wall to your north. You can see around it, but you can't see behind the little wall to your north, and you can see a little bit up into the recesses. You can't see anybody actually there.
I've got more movement.
Okay, well, use it.
I'm going to
Where are you going?
further up.
Further up still. Okay, you can see a little bit more.
So I'm heading in a kind of a northeast direction, basically trying to find the arrow, source of the arrows.
Yeah, well, you do find something, which we'll get to in a moment, because you can see up a long channel that is opened up before you, and you can see an individual place for your perusal.
Yep.
It is an orc carrying a bow.
Brilliant.
Will not particularly surprise you to learn, I can imagine. It's standing
There.
in that
Yeah.
north-south channel that you've opened up by running round to your right. It looks a little bit cross to see you, but there we go. It looks like it knows what it's doing. Is that it for you, or any more?
That's it as far as I can tell, unless I don't have reaction, so that's fine. 'Tis me.
On 6, it's Uncle Buggy.
Are these tentacles coming from south? Are they...
Yeah, they're things that must be in the wreckage. It's upturned boats that are slightly raised up from the beach because, whatever, there's prongs and masts and spars and stuff, leaving a kind of little gap underneath and a dark recess, and the little tendrils are snaking out from under there.
Okay,
Maybe if you really
so
peer.
I reckon...
At your
they're
height, Buggy, you can see some beady little eyes looking out at you.
Yeah, I don't like ropers, because my cousin... Was it cousin?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Nephew? Got
Nephew.
Nephew.
eaten by one. So I
Did.
don't really
Had
like
his
them.
face eaten.
But I think they've got probably got a 30-foot, I'm guessing 30-foot reach. So rather than going and fighting them, which is what I was going to do, I think I'll just run away from them. And I'll head over to where Paul is. It's about there. 5, 10...
Fine.
I'll
That's
go,
close enough.
I'll go there.
Slowly thinking.
I'm heading in the same direction as Scaly, to the northeast,
Yeah,
away from
into
the
the kind of
ropers.
big open area that Scaly's got into. Yeah.
Yeah, can I see down to the northwest?
Yes, you can see a little further. Let me reveal a bit more for you.
Yeah,
I think you can see somebody actually.
I'll run into that
There's
space.
a person round to your northwest into that gap.
I bet there's a pit trap.
Well,
Okay, I was
could be
thinking
something that just
bound to
drops
be
out of the
pit
sky.
traps.
Could be a meteorite. Yeah.
All right, I'm running.
Or it
I'm
could be,
running north.
A disease. Yep.
I'm running north, but I'm sort of
Into the
hugging the wall.
Oh,
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
does it hug you back?
Can I see any more?
Yeah.
I've switched on the smoke.
Oh, God. Why?
All right,
Okay,
I'll-
so nobody can see you, but you can see.
no,
right?
I'll make sure I'm
Is that
not in
correct?
the way of anybody. Yeah.
All they can see is a cloud of smoke running up. I think you can
They
see
can still hit you.
Five,
You realise that?
15.
We now can't see
That-
them, but they can still hit you.
No, I just said I'm going, so it's not going to be, not going to get in the way of everybody, but they can't hit me.
They just need to nominate someone. These are homing arrows.
They can't. Don't, don't you need a line of effect or something? Can't.
Your experience thus far has been that they snake out of the darkness and then basically seem to pick somebody and then do whatever they need to do, turning corners, going wherever, in order to get to the person that they've picked.
But they've got to pick them.
I don't know
and they
if that-
can't see me. All they just see is
Well,
a
they
load
could
of smoke.
pick sessions. They could pick sessions.
They could hit us even though we're hidden
Yep.
behind pillars. They can still get you. But now we can't attack them.
All right, I'll switch it on then. What can I see? Any more? Is that it?
You can see another figure. You can see another
I'll
figure,
keep
another
going.
archer.
5.
There's another
13.
archer. You can just make out the kind of corner of a foot or something as you barrel your way up and you open up a bit of a vista to your northwest. You can see a figure, just a little bit of a figure. Do you want to keep moving to get
Yeah.
the proper view of them?
75, 80.
So you move moving.
80. Yeah.
I think we should party
Okay.
with these creatures. Tell them to stop, otherwise we will
Is that
kill
where you're
them.
ending up?
Well, I can keep moving. I've got another like 50 feet movement or something. Just
I'm going to just reveal stuff as we go. You can now see all of that. This is exciting radio. No other hostiles that you can see. Do you want to keep moving?
yeah.
Now you can see loads. And you can see some more hostiles.
300.
There are more archers. There's a couple hanging at the northern extreme of the area that you've opened up to your sight. There's another
Okay. Well,
right at the back. So you've got a kind of row of 3 archers, and an archer to your northwest. That's what you can see.
Okay, and then I'll move back a bit around this corner.
Okay. On 5, it's purple.
Dan.
All a bit far.
No, it's not. That's right.
So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You're running up into the space that's been opened up by Scaly and Buggy, penetrating the maze, deeply penetrating its outer extremities. You can see Scaly off to your right, where you can smell Buggy. You can still smell. He's still got Asmodee's meal squashed down in his doublet.
It's like a protective layer.
It's really
I
starting
must
to
have eaten that by now.
Oh God, have you eaten it all?
It's like a,
After a day or so, for it to really tenderize.
wearing a suet
You've got to let it
pudding.
rest.
Just dressing yourself. Suet pudding.
All this thing with resting meat is something that Paul will be annoying about.
Why?
Because it just gets longer and longer and longer. It used to be, you let it sit there for a bit or whatever, and then it's like, you've got to let it properly rest, you've got to let the fibres, whatever. And then it's like a couple of hours, one day it's just going to be, let's have a taste of this delicious, it's stone cold.
No, well, I
Okay,
suppose
Mike,
some
Mike.
people say you've got to let it rest for as long as you've cooked it.
Burps is running up.
Run into the heart of the
I can see
maze.
this bad guy, northernmost of the...
Yeah, tucked up against the side of a
It's
monolith.
60 foot away from me.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it. DC
Right.
17 Wisdom saving throw.
It's going to fail the saving throw. It's alright, you don't need to worry about it. This is a wisdom save. Okay. DC 17 wisdom save. You never know. Blue dice of power. It saves with an 18.
God.
Well, it takes half of 17.
So annoying.
So it still takes 8 wonder damage, 8 points of psychic damage, and
Yeah,
I
that doesn't
will,
bother it very much.
Continue moving up to
They're only
there.
orcs, for God's sake.
Just
Must be dead.
Just remember, within 10 foot from me, plus 3 in your save.
Yeah, and I will. Hang on, I will go. One. So you're going to go before them. No, you're not. 1, 2, 3, 4 towards sailing.
You're running
Is that
both round,
automatic?
stand next to Scaly to try and get
Every
within 15
anyone
feet.
within.
Within 10 feet. I can't get any
sessions on
closer.
10 foot. Sessions on 23. Sessions on 23.
Sorry, no, I won't. I'll go north. I'll go
Oops.
north. I'll go to there. I
we-
can-
These are.
You didn't know that.
There's no roof here, right?
There's a roof of storm sessions. There's a cloud base at 60 feet.
Yeah, but there's no. These are pillars, like a maze.
Yeah,
but
they're
without
pillars.
roof.
Yeah,
It's not
they're
a building.
pillars reaching up into the clouds. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I am going to fly up over the walls and land on this pillar straight in front
So you're
of
going
me.
up into the storm clouds at the top. Yeah.
Well, no, I'll go along the ground. I'll go over the rock, through this kind of opening next to Parker, across the courtyard, and up onto the top of this
Yes.
pillar here.
The tops of the pillars go into the storm.
Oh, do they?
That's what we just
100%
said.
clear on this.
Okay, then I
The
will.
cloud base is 60 feet.
And the things go up 60 feet, do they?
You don't know how far they go up. They disappear into the
At
roiling
60
electric,
Okay,
Sounds a
I'll
bit
ask-
dodgy.
lightning sparkled clouds.
Sounds a
At
bit
50
dodgy.
feet, I'm beneath the storm cloud, yeah?
10 feet below the
Okay,
cloud
that's
base.
where
Yep.
I'll go to.
Okay. 50 feet up, but very near Scaly. So we've got Scaly and Sessions in the first open courtyard area of the maze. Sessions is 50 foot up.
50
In
foot
the
up and
second
invisible.
section of the maze, as it opens up into a kind of more of a warren, we've got Uncle Buggy and Burple. And at the outside of the maze, with his back to the wall, like an FBI agent about to go into an apartment, on 22, it's Parker.
So I was looking for something clever to do to attack this creature, but I can't see anything other than basically, if I understand
Are you
correctly,
restrained, Parker?
Yeah, an acrobatics check to free
Acrobatics
myself.
or
Is that correct?
athletics.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Here we
DC,
go. 13.
Isn't there a? It's
Is
a roll against your
sufficient.
acrobatics, right?
No is a set DC, this creature. And that set DC is higher than the number produced
Can you do
by
freedom of
Parker.
movement spell, Parker?
What? No,
Can
I
you do
can't.
freedom of
Can you
movement?
use your luck to roll again?
Yes, that's what I was just about to say.
Use your
Going to use my luck.
finish.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're close to the end. Use your
I'll
auto.
roll again. That would be
Oh,
17.
that's enough. You
Oh,
have
yeah,
escaped
well,
the clutches of the tendril. Now what do you want
And
to do?
then I'm going to move.
Run away.
I think the technical
One,
term is.
Run away.
three,
Run away.
5, 6. I'm going to basically move between Sessions and next to Scaly. And then I'm going to...
This is not making an enormous amount of sense to your readers, but we've got a kind of.
Well,
opening
okay,
here
I'm
at
going
the
to move to
beginning.
next to
Yeah,
Scaly.
no, I'm perfectly happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're moving up to stand next to Scaly. So Session Scaly.
And then
Got it. Yep.
finally I was going to say
Is it
free
trolley?
action to say to these creatures, if you continue to fight us, we will kill you. Better to
Surrender and give
stop
us all your magic.
attacking us and we will pay you as guides.
Mike, can you remind me who was on the boat? Were there any orcs on the boat?
Yeah, loads of orcs
Yeah.
on the boat.
And these look like them, do they? Were they wearing a uniform or something?
They're wearing like sailors' uniforms. Yeah, if that makes it easy.
Well, they might be, they might be hired.
Yeah, they've got those hats, the flat hats with the little ribbons on them.
There's no identifying feature, but they wear loads of orcs on the
No,
boat.
They could well be the orcs
It's-
that you saw crewing the ship in the visualizer.
Captain Pugwash.
Well,
Hearty.
That's my round anyway.
you hear a voice ring out from the shadows of the maze, Parker. It says, "Well now, shipmates. Well now, my hearties.
Great.
Sounds like this kin of ours is making us an offer. What think ye? Do we parley or do we continue to fight?
You party.
In unison, a crowd of orc voices shouts, well, we'll find out.
Oh, I set you up good on
when
that
we-
one, didn't I?
Return to the maze of Tilagos and the funny running around the orcs and the ropers in the ships and all of that stuff. And it is nice to get back to initiative and fightiness when we pick things up next week.
Yeah, we are much more at home in this kind
Fighty.
of thing, aren't we?
Oh, it's just like being wrapped in a duvet, isn't it?
The Billowing Hilltop podcast is a Billowing Hilltop production. Dungeons & Dragons is a trademark of Wizards of the Coast. The Library of Last Resort and Age of Worms are copyright Paizo. The Library of Last Resort was written by Nicholas Logue. Music is from Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com and is used with thanks under the Creative Commons license. Additional music and sound effects come from the wonderful Sirenscape. All other original material is copyright Billowing Hilltop. Role-playing games are all about getting people together, and we use Roll20 as our tabletop, the perfect place to host your game, and Discord to host our chat. Thanks for listening.